Welcome everyone, this is Evelyn and this is my twin flame read. I have my 7-deck read on the table and I have a message of the day as well with multiple decks from the Shaman Dreams, the Metatron deck, the Nature's Whispers deck, and the Energy deck. I did a combination read today for the message of the day. We're going to roll the die as well. Let's go ahead and take a few deep breaths first. Take a deep breath. Another deep breath. And one more deep breath. Sending lots of love and blessings out to everybody. I hope you're having an amazing day, and thank you so much for spending your time with me today. I thought the sun was out. It's not out right now. It's 1:37 on the clock, which is the 1 of the Magician and the 37 of the King of Cups and Unconditional Love, which came up a lot in the message of the day today. It just turned to 38, which is the Queen of Cups. So first, before I start, just a few things that were coming up between the two reads, because I'm going to do the message of the day first. But I actually did the 7-deck read first yesterday, last night. So from that read, a few things that were coming up, just so you connect them when I do the message of the day. One of the things that came up from the code line was the 79th Street Bridge in Miami that goes over to the North Bay Village is actually West 79th Street Bridge. So something connecting to that will come up in the message. And also, the movie last night, Speed Kills, came up with John Travolta, where he actually at the end of the movie was shot and killed, which I'm not telling you the end of the movie because it actually happens at the beginning of the movie before they start the movie. But John Travolta was shot and killed from 10-18 to 19, which is the 10 of the Wheel of Fortune or Destiny, and then the 18 and 19, which is the Moon and the Sun, which also parallels to the message from the message of the day today. And I was also listening to Indigo Angel with Adrienne talking about the double rainbow and how it matches the chakra system. And that also came up in the message of the day. So I wanted to let you know about that as well. The double rainbow is the natural state of the rainbow according to what they were talking about, but you can listen to that whole thing. I just wanted to bring up the fact that it's they talked about it being like the eye. As you bring in the light in the eye, right, the eye inverts the image and then it corrects it so that you see it properly. Well, the rainbow is the same thing. The first rainbow they talk about as the inverted colors, so not in the order of our chakra system, it's the top down, and then it corrects it with the second rainbow from red to purple. But that the rainbow, and I've talked about this before too, that the rainbow is actually a full circle, not an arc. You just don't see the other half of the rainbow. And they're saying that all rainbows actually have a double rainbow. It's just we can't always see the second rainbow or the correction to match our chakra system. And that will come up in the message of the day as well. So after I finished the 7-deck read on the table last night, Andiamo came up. And so I looked it up. Of course, I'm sure most of you have heard andiamo before. It's an Italian term, but there's actually two words. There's andiamo with an O and with an A. Andiamo and ondiamo. And they're two different verbs, andare and andare. So the one with the A means to go, to feel like, to wait, to experience, to walk. It has that movement function, to function, to travel, to search, catch, gather, move, and pace. Whereas the andiamo with the O literally means I rise in waves. It means to ripple, to flutter, to rock, swing, sway, waver, and hesitate. So it's not just that movement forward, it's like the ripple, like the wave energy, back and forth, like the dance. which I find very interesting, connected to the twin flames. And then I also looked up the OND, because OND has a specific meaning. I looked up AND. For us it's and, but it has many other meanings. And the OND has Nordic definitions of evil, angry, hurting, making pain, bad, wicked, vicious, but also it means the breath and the soul. So it has both the shadow and the light. Whereas the AND means to breathe, whisper, spirit, devise, imagine. It also is an oath, a duck, gift, alms, donation, talent, the action of giving, to give. So as opposed to the flutter, it's just an outright movement with the andiamo, as opposed to the ondiamo. To give even also, and hand also comes up with the and, which was coming up in the message of the day as well. So remember that the and in andiamo has to do with, it's more of that masculine energy of just going, just acting. Whereas the ondiamo is the flutter of the back and forth of the masculine and the feminine, the shadow and the light. And I love that it means I rise in waves, which, you know, definitely relates to the waves of the flame and the twins and the back and forth between the masculine and the feminine and the different dimensions. And yeah. So before I get started, I'm going to roll the die, see what comes up. So today is the 24th of June, 2022. So it's 624, which is the way 24 is written in numerology. It's written 24/6. So it is that energy of the Queen of Wands in the Tarot. And today's day adds up to 10 of Wands, which is the Atlas energy of the weight of the world, that 10 of Wands energy. So let's roll the die for the twin flames, June 24th, 2022. And here we have Pisces energy today. We have the moon, which is also Cancer energy for me, but very watery, and that energy of romance and the home as well. And then we have the 8, which is Leo energy. It's also August. It's the energy of, so Leo and Virgo in August, but also the dance and manifestation of the masculine and feminine and the multiple dimensions of the vertical pillar between the twin flames. So we also have the energy of Cancer going into Leo. So we have that July to August energy, as well as the Pisces energy of one foot in this world and 1 foot in the next, which also comes up in the message of the day today. So a lot of water energy here, along with the dance and Leo and ego, which is our human condition, right? So we're letting go of that ego to a higher love to a certain degree. We'll always have ego because we're human, but we're transcending that in a sense to a higher level by letting go so much of the lower chakra pull, having more of a balance to the other side, to the side of light. So I'm getting to, with the water energy of Pisces and Cancer, very watery, emotional energy is the child of Leo, and those pure emotions of the child, of that the romance of love and family, and then the romance of being in one world and another world at the same time of Pisces. The childlike imagination is coming up regarding those energies. Okay, so first I'm going to go into the message of the day. But there's a few things I wanted to bring up before that. So some of the energy from last night after this 7-deck read on the table, the energy of pregnancy was coming up, right? And that comparison of the pregnancy to the twin flame journey, the 9 months to be still in the womb, right? To feel trapped like you're in a prison, to grow, and then the surrender to the fall, which is coming through the vaginal canal to be squeezed out through a very small window. And there's cards I was pulling here from the Shaman Angels, and 22 cards came out, which is the Fool's Journey, the Fool. And at the bottom of it all was the Moon Maiden with the light and the weight of the world, which is today's energy, the weight of the world. And the Moon Maiden can be coming up as the Queen of Wands. And at the top of things was the 50, which is the 10 of Cups, emotional fulfillment of the family, the spirit of the river and going with the flow of adventure with the family. So the pregnancy reference, and then the comfort of the womb, but a prison at the same time, right? So the comfort of being safe in your home, but yet allowing it to be a prison at the same time, and again of the womb. And then that very short time, so the prison is a very long time, it feels like forever, that it will never end. And then the very short time, through a very little space, squeezing out all the unnecessary with a rebel yell at the end. So again, there's that time-space reference of birth, right? Too much time and then too little space. And then note, right as I finished writing this, I look up and I notice the Two of Cups you see back here, which in this deck, the Gilded deck, it's very pronounced how much deep connection there is in that Two of Cups energy. And noticing that, and literally last night, because there's a few little, tiny indentions in the card, it was sparkling. So the Two of Cups' intense connection was sparkling in the light with the Knight of Wands next to it, right? Rushing in to save the day to come in with the Two of Cups. And you notice over here on the other side of the Two of Cups is the Devil over here in the future, going forward. I know you can't see those cards very well, but that's the Devil, but that's just Capricorn energy as well. The shadow side of things, as opposed to the light of that masculine forward movement. So it's kind of referencing the same thing as the Andiamo and Andiamo, that the Knight of Wands is that forward movement of the A Andiamo, and then the Devil is bringing the shadow side into it to make it the Andiamo energy on the other side. With the Page of Wands actually is next to the Devil over here. So we have the Page of Wands and then the Knight of Wands and the Two of Cups right there. And today's energy is the Queen of Wands. And she could actually be the Devil in the middle or the Capricorn in the middle between the two Page of Wands and the Knight of Wands. So that could be coming in as well. So that sparkling in the light with the Knight of Wands upright, tempted by the Page of Wands, performing with the Knight of Wands, and coming up here in the read as the only option, and that was at 11:01 last night. And that's funny too, because I just finished the message of the day at 1:11. So there are those ones coming up again in the 11:11 type energy, just missing that final one. Both of them, 11:01 and then 1:11 is 01:11. So they're both three of the ones, but waiting for that fourth one. It's like when I first started doing my reads, I used to talk about the third relay, or the third baton, right? The third person in the relay race, passing that final baton to the fourth runner. And that's that same energy of where we are now. So right before I started the message of the day, and again with Indigo Angel talking about the colors of the rainbow and black and white, and they kept talking about black being the sum of all the colors, and there's always that controversy between black and white and which is actually all color. And so in a scientific way, the white is all colors because, as you know, when light hits the crystal, it creates a rainbow. So the white light actually breaks and becomes all of the colors. So that's that reference to all the colors in the white light. But also in a more 3D sense, when you combine red, blue, and green, it's white, but if you combine the primary colors of red, blue, and yellow, it actually becomes black. So remember too, when we're talking about color, it's what's visible to us. So just because light isn't visible to us doesn't mean it doesn't exist in the darkness. So remember that as well. I pulled some cards for myself at that point from the Starseed Oracle, which has, it's this deck here, which has more of the kind of like images that will perhaps activate something in you. So maybe you need to see this card actually at the bottom of the deck. This one's 68, which is the Page of Pentacles, and the Temple of the Moon Goddess, which is emotional transparency, nurturance, and grace, which was actually coming up for my son when I pulled him some cards. And there's that Moon Goddess again of June and the moon, and then Cancer of July, of June to July. So a lot about Cancer to August is coming up with Leo. And remember too that I talked about Julius Caesar, right? Because Julius is July in the US, which is July, and our birthday, and then August is Caesar, Augustus Caesar. So there's a reference to that as well. And the Ides of March. So there we take it back to Pisces again. So that's actually the dice that came up today is the Ides of March regarding Julius Caesar and Augustus Caesar. Very interesting. Okay, so what came up after that, the numbers that came up in the cards that I pulled for myself had to do with the seal of Metatron with 18, and then the cosmic calibrator 38, which is my soul number, and 18 is my birthday. So a lot of my own numbers were coming up. And then the 3 cards that came out underneath that was, the first one was 79. And I always tell you, for me, 79 is the pot of gold at the end of the rainbow. And in this deck, it has to do with dimensional planes of perception, number 7. And in this perception section, it goes 1 through 9, like the dimensions here. And it has to do with the path of change, paradigm shifts, and adjustment. And then I got 37, which is that unconditional love of the King of Cups, and the energy of storage, timed release, and focused force, as well as 19 of the sun. So very profound numbers. The 79 of the pot of gold at the end of the rainbow. We just talked about the rainbow being a circle, not an arc. So the end of the rainbow is actually the beginning of the rainbow and coming full circle with that unconditional love of the King of Cups. And then the 19 of the sun, awakening to source with soul confidence, the solar plexus, reassurance, source essence here, right? That solar plexus mimicking the energy of the sun, where the sun is considered more of the golden Christ energy, and the solar plexus is always considered more of a yellow, but it's really the mimicking of that sun in the human condition. The pot of gold of unconditional love in the sunshine. The rainbow reflection, which is actually just the horizon, which is an illusion, you all know, because the rainbow is a full circle, actually. And so the pot of gold is actually coming full circle with love and sun, which is light. And then after 79 in the deck comes the 80. I looked it up because 80 is my destiny number, which is perception number 8, or the 8D, the nonlinear processing of simultaneity and epiphany. And then the final one is that, you know, that ultimate kind of illumination energy of 90. 81 is perception 9, which is ether. They each had identified with an element, a chakra, multiple, one or multiple or all signs, that type of thing. And of course the last one has all for all categories except for the stones, which were hyperstein, muumite, M-U-U-M-I-T-E, and zircon. That was perception number 9, or 81, which 81 comes up in the numerology book, the Divine Triangle, which I'll show you the front. I'll show you that book too, because I talk about it all the time, but you haven't seen the picture. So that's numerology, the Divine Triangle, and it's based on the number 81, being the end of the 3 cycles of youth, power, and wisdom, these 3 squares of the triangle. So 81 is like the end of karma. It's like once you hit age 81, you actually get to choose whether you stay or go, or what kind of life you want to live, that kind of energy. And I talk about 81 being the end of karma when we're talking about the reads here. All right, so today again is the Queen of Wands and the 10 of Wands, the Atlas and the Weight of the World, and the Queen of Wands of creation and personality. You know, really having a creative and energetic and social personality, kind of very, very driven in that way, as most fire signs are very driven to physical action. So the message of the day, and here's the picture of it. All right, so here's my message of the day. I'm going to move this light so it's not reflecting on the picture. Okay, so we have 4 decks here. Let me just clarify just a little bit. The first deck is the Metatron deck up top. The second line is the Shaman Dreams deck. The third one is Nature's Whispers, and the fourth one is the Energy deck. These are all the underlying energies in the first column, the bottom of the deck. And then I put them out the way they came out. So these 2 decks both mimicked each other. They came out 1 card and then 2 cards each. And then this is the pile of cards that I had to count for each deck at the end. which both of these these cards counted up to 19 of the Sun. They matched exactly in the way they came out and in the piles I had to count. And the pictures very much mimic each other too, as in the masculine and the feminine. And then we have the Nature's Whispers, which came out 2 cards and then 2 cards, and then the pile of cards I had to count. And the energy deck came out in 4 separate cards. They were all singles, and then the pile at the end, so you understand how they came out. I'm going to move it up really close too, so you can see some of the cards a little better. Okay. Okay. So if you want to take a snapshot and follow along with that as a reference back to the cards, you can do that as well. Okay, so I did this message of the day. I pulled out all the cards between 11:47 and 11:53. 47 being the 7 of Cups, and for me that's synchronicities, as well as having options and confusion if you have too many options, as well as heaven in their eyes. And to 53, which is the Knight of Swords, the messenger of truth, or the knight in shining armor, but it has to do with that delivery of truth. It's also the catapult, 53. And 11, of course, is justice, which is truth and balance, and the alignment of the 2 ones. The underlying energy from the message of the day for the 4 different decks were pink, which is number 26 of self-love and nurture. 26 is the Page of Wands. Then the Magician's Sword of 37, which is the King of Cups, with confidence in your magic. And then new experiences and possibilities with 18, which is the Moon. And then the final one was the Sun, along with the number 1 of the Magician, and that masculine energy of the Sun. So it's the Page of Wands, inspired or excited, with the King of Cups and unconditional love, to try out their new adultness from the Page of Wands to the King of Cups, to experience romance and time in the Sun, as magic has begun. The life bulb of scalloped Mary Magdalene, and remember Magdalene is a dessert, it's a sweet treat, Magdalena, the life bulb of the womb, the scalloped Magdalena, the Mary Magdalene, in the pink phased array of the scalloped shell, the Page of Wands, the child in the womb, and the Excalibur of the Father, King of Cups. The confidence in his seeding, it's like very literal here with the sword underneath the womb, as she looks up from her tree of splendor on a horse with good health of heart, of home, and flowering of all that she is, with magic womb and the sun to grow the seed, with her watery emotions, the love of the water and the light of the sun that is the divine feminine and the divine masculine, the love and light from within and without, the magic soul that comes to the womb with the truth and unconditional love, the family tree and the son who feeds and expands the legacy, the father's perspective. The pink and gold of compassion here with the mother, Terra Gaia, and with the earth, with the daughter at the core, where the father is the portal of the sun with his rays of the sun reaching far and wide. So again, that energy of the daughter within and the sun without. At 12:05 then is the Hanging Man and the 5 of the Hierophant, and freedom, change, and expansion, as well as the Hierophant definitions of guidance and societal norms and commitment. We have the first card out of the number 7 in water from the Metatron deck with emotional well-being, the dolphin, and the icosahedron, which icosa means I matter. The 17 of conquering your fears with angelic guidance, one step at a time, for your dreams to come true. The 14 of that higher love of the Temperance card, setting boundaries daily with patience, balance, and that higher love to get to the sun, picking up the magic key along the way, along the path. And then the 19 cards at the end, which is the sun, along with, at the bottom of it, was the Queen of Swords, 52, the big bird, with triangular rainbows and wings. And then again talking about the degrees, because this card is the Queen of Swords, and of course her match, 52, is the 51 of the King of Swords. And Indigo Angel was, the person she had on, talking about the rainbows, was talking about you know, the amount that's enough to push us over to the other side, right? So just like in talking about energy waves and keeping the light going as, you know, conquering the dark, so to speak, in balance anyway, it's the same energy of the degrees here. They were talking about the triangular colors and the angle of 47 degrees not being the tipping point quite yet. And it's interesting because it matches the tarot deck, right? Because we have the cups cards are until the card of 50, which is the 10 of cups, and then 51 goes into the swords energy, which is light. The cups is love, and then the king of swords and queen of swords are the light, and that is that special number of 51 to 52 in the degree of the pyramids in Egypt, right? The 51, I forget, 51.8 or whatever it is, but it's also the degree of tipping point of the rainbow here in degrees that they were talking about on their video. So here's that again, the energy between the 51 and 52, which is the king and queen of swords, of light, keeping it airing just to the side of light as opposed to too much emotion, right? We want half emotion and half light of the swords, but we want it to be a little bit more swords than emotion, right? So we don't let our emotions get out of control. So the 50 of the 10 of cups and water, and then the 51 of the light, the emotional body of the female submitting to the king of swords, airing to the side of light at 1217, which is the hanging man and the star. It's just like alkaline and acid in the body. You want to air to the side of alkaline, not acid, because acid is like cancer. It will kill you eventually, which is all the things we love to eat. The sweet stuff is all acidic as opposed to alkaline. But wanting to be less emotional, not so emotional to the point where the light gets the final, it's saying that the light gets the final word. So, and when you're talking about love and light of the feminine and the masculine, that it's just to the side of the masculine getting, if there comes a tie, then the masculine gets the final word. But otherwise, they're equal. The Queen of Swords at the bottom of it, and the castle on a cloud at the top. The purple moon, the love and light in the present moment only, which again is like that center point of the Queen of Swords and Page of Swords coming up here, where the Page of Swords is driving or ascending, moving forward with compassion and emotion to dreams of a higher love through the sun portal into the higher realms. The blessings of water and emotions of the child's dreams, given those dreams to the mother, Queen of Swords, and the Page of Swords. They were actually coming up as, Page of Swords was coming up as more Libra energy right there, and then the Queen of Swords perhaps more Gemini energy, aligning with the sunset and endings, the page anyway, for the carpenter bee. So there's that Jesus Christ energy of, but also Gemini coming up, or Virgo. And again, that card of the carpenter bee pollinating the buttercup yellow flower of the Jesus Christ and the Mary Magdalene energy of joy and happiness. Using the fire, like in the beginning of the tarot deck, to start, and then emotion of the cups to long for, or a long haul, right? Having enough emotion to get you through the long haul, to the halfway point, where then it becomes air at card number 50 to the 51 of the King of Swords, of light and intellectualism, of Libra child with Gemini or Virgo mother perhaps. So again, the energy of the deck, which is fire, water, air, and earth, where the center point is between water and air, which are more centered energies than the fire and the earth, which are more polarized, and the middle point exactly being the 50, but going into the 51 to 52 to air just to the side of the light. At 1229 is the Hanging Man and the Three of Wands, it being present in the moment again, with the 37 of the Magic Sword and the King of Cups and unconditional love, where then the number one or the first card that came out here was the 10 of the Deep Diver of the King of Cups, who has mastered their emotions, right? Because he's the King of Cups. He's mastered his emotions to then be able to dive deep into the water in order to see the light, because from cups you go into swords, being able to see the light or intellectualize it. the destiny of the Ace of Swords, Excalibur, and the truth of the 55 of the Excalibur, but it's on the cup of the 37 of unconditional love. So mixing those two energies of the 37 with the 55 then still comes out around 51 to 52, airing to the side of the light. The 38 of the Queen of Cups here with many masks of authentic self. So here's the King of Cups, who's very streamlined because he's the masculine. He's very focused. Then meets the Queen of Cups here, 38, which is a 2. So she sees both sides. She has more than one personality here. She has many masks of her authentic self, and now he needs to understand that she's more complicated than him. It's not just like one personality or like one sword, like the focused divine masculine with that. He's kind of like got the horse's blinders on. He's very focused and intent. And then the 57 of the unmarked trail of revelation, where the feminine understands in order to get to the other side, you have to go through the unknown. Kind of like the pioneering spirit of the masculine, but going even beyond that, right? Because he only sees straight forward, where she sees in the periphery as well. Separating, she understands that one must separate in order to return to source, the sunlight, using the grounding of the earth, Terra, Gaia, using the physical, the body, to hold both the water emotions and the light of the sun. I'm trying to understand the word I wrote before light. The watery emotions, oh, I wrote airy, okay. So the body is that physicalness, like the pentacles, right? To hold the water of emotions and the airy light of the sun with no need to know ahead of time. You don't need to know the future in order to be present, to be the gift. And that's with the pile of this 19 sun cards that came up for the first 2 decks. They were both the sun, the 19 of full exposure and receiving the light in order to be the gift. At the bottom of it all right there is the 49 of getting your wish, the 9 of Cups, with skywriting and the fates of self-satisfaction in getting your wish by being present and opening the gift. At the top of the pile is the horseman heralding the changes with the 30, which is the union. So this is the masculine of aggression. He is the one who comes in heralding the change into union. The love light. So in this deck, it was going back and forth between the cups and the swords. Love light, flickering, like the andiamo with the O, with a shot of fire, which is the masculine then, to just go, to pull it into the station. It's that little, spark of fire lit under your butt to get it where it needs to go. The burst of love light, just like the soul coming into the human body. There's that all of a sudden that burst of light that's pushed into the body, into manifestation of the physical. And then the moon and the sun come at the last 2 decks in the underlying energy, like the womb and the sword, which were the underlying energy of the first 2 decks. The reference of the womb and the sword, right, making a baby, and the sun and the moon and the sun, of the feminine and the masculine. And then the Page of Wands, which is that new child, that new seed, with the Hermit below them. And then the King of Cups with the Emperor below them, which actually came up twice in the read. I want to actually show you that, because it's amazing how they repeat themselves in messages. All right, so here in this deck, beneath that sword, which is the 37, is the 4 card, all right, which is the Emperor. And in this deck also, the energy deck, I just want to expand that a little bit so you can see it better. I'm sorry, not the energy deck, but in the Nature's Whispers deck, this top card is the 4, and the one beneath it is the 37. So it's reflecting the same as here, the 37 on top and the 4 underneath, okay, which is the King of Cups and the Emperor. So we're talking about that shot of fire that needs to come in to balance the cups and air, that burst of love light into manifestation of the physical, And then the moon and the sun, like the womb and the sword, and the page of wands with the hermit below them, the king of cups with the emperor below them, the moon is with the sun or magician below, and the sun is with the 11 or 2 below, which is the truth balance of the high priestess or divine feminine. You see how they always balance themselves. They naturally draw to them what they need to balance them out to the whole, like the rainbow. So then what's coming up in Nature's Whispers is keep your dreams alive with 25 with the Knight of Wands, excuse me, and it's 2:11 on the clock, which we're just talking about 11/2, which is Justice and the Divine Feminine High Priestess. And it was just 35:30 on this clock, which is the Wounded Warrior and the Union. So after keeping your dreams alive with the Knight of Wands here in 25 is the 18. The 25 and the 28 numbers, the 3 cards in a row, which came up in main colors. So the 18 was coming up with the green dress, the 25 as the blue child, and the 28 as both the reds and yellows, which are the colors that makes it either black or white. Remember what I said, that the green, blue, and red become the white, but the green, blue, and yellow become the black. So here, the energy of the lower chakra system of red, orange, and yellow are coming up as the 2 sides of the masculine and the feminine. They both have the green and the blue. But one is more red and one is more yellow. Okay, and one is more the shadow, one is more the light. It's very interesting how it parallels with the rainbow talk. So when it comes together here, creating both black and white of the divine feminine and the divine masculine, along with the blue and green of the heart chakra and then the throat chakra, balancing the lower chakra colors with the heart and the throat for bountiful harvest of the 28, which is the twin flames, orange in the middle. So when they come together, they bring the orange and yellow together, the red and the yellow together of the root and the solar plexus into the sacral chakra, which is the place of birth, the womb. And then the 10 of destiny, of opening your heart, the lady and the swan, which she's seeing in this card as her dream man, with these little child angels on the side who are up to something sneaky. It's like they're, the little angels are bringing them together. They're bringing them into manifestation from their etheric form. As the full moon brought bountiful harvest here, the full moon was on the 14th, I think. The new moon coming up on the 28th to the 30th basically will open your heart to the wisdom of expansion, hanging out in a handshake. So in this card, it's literally showing you the hands becoming manifest before the rest of the body. The touch of the masculine and the feminine is what causes the grounding into this reality. The handshake with the double rainbows is literally in this card. As she is in the etheric realm, starts to manifest into this reality as their hands touch in this handshake. The double rainbow of the inversion and the reflection, so that the human eye can see it. One must go through the valley of the shadow in order to return to the light with the pot of gold in it now, coming full circle with gifts for all, and Spirit's really connecting with me, with gifts for all from your journey around the circle, around the world in 80 days, which was coming up in that SIRIAN deck as the 8th dimension before the 9th dimension, 80. So around the world in 80 days is where you have epiphanies and all that kind of stuff. With 8 balloons of rainbow colors, just waiting for the golden yellow, which is referencing the Christ light coming into the solar plexus to complete the set, the sunset of green, yellow, and orange, which are literally the background in this card. So now we're going from the heart to the solar plexus to the sacral energy, the midpoint of the chakra system. The balance of the healing heart and the green, and the sacral creation of the orange is the yellow in the middle of the love light, confidence, the wisdom to expand. And at the bottom of it all is the 4 of the Emperor's paws, as he being the tree, and this little fairy girl comes up to touch the tree. And as she touches the tree, he, as the Emperor, is stunned into submission. She, as well as she sparkles, because she's a little fairy girl, at 12:54 is again is the Hanging Man and the Page of Swords walking up to them. It's like the emperor's the hanging man, the wise man, and this little fairy child walks up to touch his trunk. And that's like the handshake between the masculine and the feminine. And at the top of this pile is the ideal course of action, which is of course 37, which is the King of Cups and unconditional love. So where the emperor becomes the King of Cups, so he steps down from that power in order to be unconditional love, and the child grows up into that King of Cups of unconditional love. It's a really beautiful energy the way this came out. So at 12:55, which is the Hanging Man, or that can be referencing Jesus Christ as well, and then the 55 of the Truth and his Excalibur, his sword. The Sun of number 1, which was the bottom of the last pile here in the energy deck, the first card out was the World, and the 29 of being present in the moment. Two different perspectives. One is from down here, looking up at the sun, and the other perspective from another planet, looking down at the earth in its blue-green glory, the heart and the throat chakra, the blue-green earth, and the yellow-orange sun. The middle chakras, like the cups and the swords, are in the middle of the deck. From love to light, from earth to the sun, from the mother to the father, the fire of the sun, and the lower 3 human chakras to get to the green heart and speak the blue truth of the blue rays. The 13 then of the destitution of death and transition, right? It's that emptiness card of 13 where the cupboards are bare. But remember, right, when you die, you don't take any of your stuff with you. You're barren. The 13 of destitution of death and transition is not needing any possessions when we leave this world. The financial constraints of now that we're not leaving the world in transition, right? Because we now can transition without dying. We ascend instead. The financial constraints of transition through portals. Because now we do need a little help on the other side, right? When we get there. It's kind of like the time traveler show where he shows up in the other world or dimension naked with nothing to his name. Right? So we need something to survive on the other side. And so today is the 24 of the Queen of Wands at 12:59, the 11th hour before the hand strikes 1. The Queen of Wands is the card here, along with the day's energy today, the Queen of Wands, with adjacent possibilities. So the ability to jump parallel, don't have to jump vertically to die and come back as another person. Here the Queen of Wands is seeing the adjacent possibilities of the horizontal, seeing another way through the wormholes, which are within this dimension, as opposed to going into another dimension, have to come back again in the vertical pillar, as opposed to the grand vortex, which is all galactic universes, right? We're just staying within our own, jumping horizontally as opposed to vertically to the 38 of the Queen of Cups as opposed to the Queen of Wands, from the lower chakra system into the heart, healing with Raphael in the 4th chakra of the heart, living in another's heart instead of leaving the planet. At the bottom of it, a storm warning is here with the 10, which is destined, at the top of it. And at the top of it is the envy of the 20 of that wake-up call, but also the judgment of the Dark Mother in this deck, and envy. And watching out for the Wicked Witch of the West. So which brings back in West 79th Street Bridge in Miami that goes to North Bay Village from Miami, which because it came up in my code line for the read, I looked it up and it was 79th Street Bridge West going to North Bay Village from Miami, which is closed for renovations in August 2022. 7/9 is 7 to 9, July to September. There is a closing, so you can't get to the North Bay Village because I guess they were having problems with the bridge opening and closing. It would get stuck in one position or the other. And so it has to be renovated for mechanical issues. So the moon and the sun, the daughter within, like the earth planet with the core being the daughter, and then the sun without. The sun is the vortex, and the sun, like the child, is the rays of the vortex extending out to the earth. The transition of the twin flames to the the bountiful divine feminine's harvest from the divine masculine's constraints, the divine feminine's dream, and the divine masculine's literal world. Her abundance of the twin flames and the understanding of that, and his constraints of his 3D reality. The divine feminine destined to an open heart, the divine masculine to adjacent possibilities, without the need for a complete change or shift. As she moves to expand into his realms, to his reflection, he moves to his heart. She is the quiet before the storm, and he is the storm warning, reminding the divine feminine to stay in unconditional love when she meets the envy and judgment of the Wicked Witch of the West, or Aquarius perhaps, at 1:11. The Queen of Swords gets her wish with the Emperor destined, the Page of Swords home with the King of Cups in a wake-up call of judgment and envy. So again, the energy of remembering you promised unconditional love, perhaps when you met someone that the masculine has to deal with and it's 2:22 on the clock, which has to do with guidance counseling. So maybe you'll need a little guidance counseling with in-laws, which also came up yesterday. So in-laws, or just people who may have been part of one person's world or the other, who may have been trying to interfere with them and still will do so once coming together. But eventually that energy will weed itself out because it's based on resonance of the twin flames being together. All of the energy that doesn't resonate with you will fall by the wayside eventually, right? So, and then the mailman showed up right after that. So there was a delivery, a deliverance. So that was a really beautiful message, you guys. I hope you like that. So now we have the 7-deck read on the table, which was also beautiful. Check this out. This read ended with the Lovers, which it's never in that place. I'm telling you, I've been doing this for years now. And the Lovers never ends up in that outcome position, and it's upright in this read. Okay, so here is the read on the table. Those are the basic cards from the SIRIAN Starseed deck. And then here's the full 7-deck read. Okay. All right, so this starts out at 446 when I cut the deck. 446 is the Emperor and the 46 of the inner children loving each other. And then at 459, which is the Emperor and the 5 of Swords of the war within, right, facing our fears, he lovers came up. And then RS also came up, which I didn't look up. Let's see what RS says. I should have my thingy open here. So let's see what the definition is for RS. So RS comes up, in Egyptian it comes up to awaken. How perfect. There you go. So I'm not even going to go on. That's all really. It's also laughs, LOL, haha. So it's laughter and to awaken. How beautiful is that, RS? He lovers can be 2 men, but it also can be he loves RS, to awaken to his other. It's beautiful. To awaken, and what did I say was the, oh, and laughter. Awakening to joy with his lover. Very cool. Something in the way she moves. I'm getting that too. I don't want to leave her now. Don't want to leave her now. So he lovers is coming up, which is also bringing out the masculine within both the masculine and the feminine. Because yesterday was coming up, the feminine was coming out to lead the way. And it could be like, as we get more into the new moon, it may be transferring again into the masculine energies, because we're constantly going back and forth. And you need to pick up on that intuitively, of the shifts that are happening naturally within you in order to deal with the situation and the rebalancing in each moment. So I finished clarifying at 516, which is the Hierophant and the 16 of the Tower. And we had triple ones and double eights. Very significant, because the double eights are the twins dancing side by side prior to union, because the triple eights would then knock it over into the infinity symbol, which is the union between them both. And the code line was all about the number 8 as well, which is that third 8, bringing the 2 8s into union. And we had triple ones, which is that new beginning in the background, saying the 1 1 1 is here. It's just the 8 9 10 begin again. And then the 4 of the Emperor is coming up significantly too. So those are the most significant numbers, were 4 and then 8 9 10 together. So the double 8s of the twins dancing, and the 4 of stability building in the Emperor, and the heart. It's the heart chakra. And that new beginning of 1 2 3 is also coming up in a lesser sense of that 1 2 3, which is that jump. It's also the third 3D, right? 1 2 3. And 8 9 10 is jumping past the 5D, because the 5D is just the jump off point, which is 7 8 9. But this is 8 9 10, which is saying you already went into the 5D. Now you can, it's the jump off point. You can go into the other dimensions, or any dimension from the 5D. The code line is all about love partnership and the number 8 and the dance. And love partnership was broken up into love partnership. So it comes up like the teen mercyship and the par, which is equal, right? An equal partnership, like playing at par, not needing to win, not needing to lose, but staying at par. Very balanced. So that code line is about number 8 and the love partnership and the dance between the masculine and feminine. Aspirin was also coming up here, being a source, its purpose, and the 9th bridge. And again, aspirin will thin the blood, right? If you think you have a heart attack or a clot, you always take an aspirin to thin it out. The 9th Street Bridge, so there's no clog, right? When you talk about a stenosis in the bloodstream, it can be the same thing like in traffic going across the bridge. When there's a stenosis, there's a blockage in traffic, and it's opening up that blockage here. The aspirin is a source, it's a purpose, the 9th Street Bridge, the tower of walking away from the T up or time out of the moral man. Oh, by the way, did you know, I was looking up about fluoride and, the different ways to get fluoride out. Number 1 was that holy basil, if you put it in your water, actually takes the fluoride out. And did you know that green and black tea both have fluoride in them? So if you feel like your levels are too high, because there are natural things that have fluoride in it. It's not like you'll never have any fluoride in you if you don't drink the water or don't use fluoride toothpaste. There is fluoride in natural things we eat. You just want it as low as possible. So just so you know, green and black tea both have a certain amount of fluoride in them, or some of them do. So the tower walking away from the tower, the timeout of the moral man here, right, rising above. So getting around the stenosis, getting around the traffic jam by walking away, like not getting frustrated, not needing to get through it, but by releasing that frustration energy is how the jam then releases itself naturally, which we are learning, right, as we ascend. So just like aspirin, us finding peace with whatever is in the moment is the same function as aspirin. It lets the flow start flowing again from the traffic jam. So it's also coming up as a moment, right? That moment in time, being present in a moment of period, sick, or immaturity, a tide, and also as a low tide as well. And ASA also means, besides aspirin, it means to hope. It's also a scepter, a stick, expectations, anticipation. It's also the wing. To struggle as well. So all these energies, but it's so weird because the definitions came up with the same definitions. Like ATI came up in the code line, which is low tide, and SAA also came up in the code line, and it means tide. So both tide came up and stick came up in 2 different definitions as well. ATI and ASA are both sticks. And then ASAA is number 7, which came up in the message of the day as the first card. The 7 is that calm before the storm. It's also the energy of the other realms, that spirituality. So a moment, or like a tide, the tide rolls in and the tide rolls out. And specifically low tide was coming up of the water, of low emotions. A moment of being, like when you have your period or you're sick or someone's being immature, when you're in that moment, it's a tide, so just let it go away. It'll come back and go away. The ASA of low tide, or the hope of low tide. The 9th Street Bridge, perhaps when dealing with the bridge, they're hoping for low tide, so the water's not affecting them working on the bridge. And then what came up also about the 9th Street Bridge was, I didn't know this, but I go to Ocean City, New Jersey, and last summer on the 9th Street Bridge, or it was actually the landing area before the 9th Street Bridge, an 18-year-old pilot made an emergency landing on the Ocean City Bridge, or the causeway there before the bridge. This was July 19, 21, the causeway that goes from Summers Point to Ocean City, New Jersey, and his name was Lucas, and he landed at 12:30 with engine trouble. And can you imagine an 18-year-old calmly making a decision to land on the bridge because he saw an opening in the traffic? We also have, as far as the code line here, to hope for low tide, or kind emotions, intentional intervention, or reliance on a purpose, knowing, and to boil in order to boil off. And that comes up with fluoride as well, because when you boil water, it doesn't get the fluoride out, but if you collect the steam from the boil, that is fluoride free. Very interesting. To boil or boil off, to expect stains or dirt. So when you expect the shadow side, then it doesn't bother you so much. You let it flow. You know it's going to turn tides again. The scepter, the stick, the rod, the tree, and the branch. The 9th bridge, or the 9th possession or property. The grandmother, the man, and the contents thereof. The 9-inch nails, which can reference the nails that put Jesus into the cross, or either the nails of the grandmother who sticks her nails into you when she's mad at you. To the nth degree, own the tower, the sudden events, the epiphanies, the sexual exchange, and walk away in time out as the moral man in the love partnership. The 7th Street Bridge was also, the 9th Street Bridge was also coming up as the 79th, the 79th Bridge. Whereas I told you already is the West 79th Street Bridge in Miami, the F. closure of overhaul in August 22. It got stuck in January, it stuck open, and then in May it got stuck closed, May 19th. So that's very recently. In the Love Teener Mercy Ship, a time without end, but not to quit yet. The 9th owner, or the 9th bridge, and explosion perhaps, or epiphany, of the Teen Mercy Ship, or the Turner. It always reminds me of Tina Turner and Ike Turner, of, what's love got to do with it, and that Teen Mercy Ship of immaturity. Walking away of the moral man whose time is up in a love partnership. The Chariot, or the 7, which is the feminine within the masculine ascending, sourcing the 9, or the Hermit, to the nth degree, as the drawbridge of the tower comes down to let the Chariot in to see the Hermit, leaving it open, or allowing the moral man up to the tower. It's like Rapunzel in the tower, putting the drawbridge down so the masculine can enter in the Chariot to come pick them up in the love partnership. Or also Swana is coming up as the TN, Swana Mercy Ship, or the Thrill Connection on the Mercy Ship. T.N. also means, in another language, so-called mercy ship, or it means your mercy ship. Also, to be accurate or right, to meet and cross paths is another word that came up here. ATINEN, or it means atinar, to be accurate, to be right, but it also means to meet or cross paths or hit the target. One, to struggle, make a lot of noise, or hope, expect, to be accurate and cross paths, to meet. Also the word T-H-E-I-G came up. To go is like the tiger, the plot of land or region, to point out, to go to the tower, the tiger without his so the tiger without his revving up his engine, you know. The tiger is to go to the tower without his revving up of his engine, or without pointing out, without the to the tower, to go within, to see the hermit, to tee up in the love partnership, right? So that energy of being immature, of mercyship, and having compassion for each other, staying on that level playing field of par, that you don't need to win or lose, you just need to stay at par, to tee up. And you see how they bring the golf game into both messages of par and teeing up. But again, this is the masculine going to the drawbridge of the Tower of Rapunzel, of the hermit, and her letting down the drawbridge to let him in, where he needs to stay at par and not try to win, keeping his in check, right? The tiger, that part of the tiger has to stay out of the tower. So we start this read with the Four of Pentacles upright, and beneath it is Alchemy reversed. So we have that Four of Pentacles, this bottom card here, with the little mini cards on top. The Four of Pentacles is upright in this deck, is the Divine Masculine in the Bat Cave. It's his heart in the Bat Cave, that Four of Pentacles. And beneath that is Alchemy reversed, the Ace of Pentacles reversed, Queen of Pentacles reversed, Ace of Cups upright, and the Wheel or Destiny, the Wheel of Fortune upright. So the masculine perhaps impatient or a fallen angel, or losing patience, saving, withholding from the Queen of Pentacles reversed, who's receiving a love offer from Libra or with the right timing. The Divine Masculine's heart in the Batcave here, juggling, balancing out, or his balancing act. The King of Wands watching the show as the last ones leave, or out in the cold because he's not letting them in, or he's done with patience for the day. The Hierophant reversed being strong, or with a pet, or Taurus reversed and Leo upright, not expressing their true desires, of frustration, perhaps turned away because the King of Wands was watching something else. And this could be the energy of, you know, someone walking up to a business and them not refusing to open the door because they're watching something inside, whether it's TV or online on the computer, or just watching something else happening within the four walls, not being let in. But this is also the energy of not letting them in as far as, into their heart. So these are like two out in the cold, being turned away because the King of Wands was watching something. Libra with Sag in their chart perhaps, and Leo with Taurus in their chart perhaps, or just with a Taurus. There could be two other people there. Present to the Knight of Swords, who's rushing in to share or settle up or settle out with the King of Wands, who's watching the Fool without peace, working to align or reconcile their losses, or end conflict for dreams to come true, where the bird is taking off to end the war, but dealing with PTSD and the never-ending story, or the King of Wands with Aries in his chart, perhaps with an Aquarius, with Scorpio and or Sag in their chart, and impatient to clear the field, right? To perhaps empty a business or empty a home, where both horses and men, fallen angels of war, or a cemetery under a beach, or the cemetery that is the sea, and how many people died at sea, whether it's soldiers and or horses on the beach, like the Battle of Normandy. Or a patient withholding payment until they receive love from destined Divine Masculine in the Bat Cave. Or fallen angel saving the Queen of Pentacles reversed from the love of their destiny, the Libra and right timing. So again is that energy of the Wheel of Fortune. Holding on to what little is left, perhaps after a divorce with a partner, and implementing a plan of investment. At 641, which is the Lovers and the new love of the Ace of Cups, self-love, spiritual love, and the injustice of a love partnership, seeing eye to eye about how to plan or invest, or both like the same things, or a divorced couple who are spent. So it can be both a couple coming together as well as a couple who's agreeing to disagree and fall apart. One with four coming together with a new partner willing to invest with them or in them, And then chemistry came up with attraction below it. So there is that attraction here and chemistry. So there's a big chemical attraction here. And then we have the King of Cups reversed in a heated exchange with the Page of Wands, giving up their wand to the Page of Swords. Maybe, I don't know if they want to or not, but they're giving up their wand to the Page of Swords, who's leaning on the truth of the past falling out. And these two pages can be adults, you know, acting like little kids. The glass slipper had fit back then, and that's the point. Knees and feet, and no buts about it. The Page of Wands was not aroused or humored by the Page of Swords as bringing up the past, right? Because the Page of Wands wants to express their feelings that they were never allowed to express. The Page of Wands may be excited by someone else, or was in the past. Love comes up here with number 6, and beneath it is completion of number 9. So there's the Lovers and the Hermit, or perhaps Gemini and Virgo there. The completion and then the love. And then the Empress is coming up here, perhaps depressed with the Queen of Cups upright and the Wounded Warrior. Maybe she's lacking hope in the Queen of Cups and the Wounded Warrior, and that could be 2 children of the Empress as well. Perhaps with a big love in the Holy Grail, and the Page of Swords with 3 feathers in their cap, and divorced, or spiritual and breaking a standard contract, religion, or establishment here, with Taurus upright and Aquarius reversed, and the Page of Swords, perhaps with Taurus in their chart, perhaps with their eye on the Candy Striper, or the stripper named Candy, and the Page of Swords entitled, or feeling entitled, to the elephant's spray or light show, or the elephant keeping the Page of Swords is dry in a flood, right? So it's like the elephant is allowing the Page of Swords, you know, to get on top of them so that they don't get wet in a flood, which is also emotions. Hold on 1 second, please. Yes, are you okay? All right, I'm taping though right now. I just was worried that something was wrong.
Oh no, you just told me to call you when I got
Yes, I appreciate it. I'll call you back, okay? Okay, bye, love you. Sorry, it was my son. He was just traveling, so I wanted to make sure he was okay. But yes, he got there. Okay, so with the love of 6 and the completion of 9, the Lovers and the Hermit, or Gemini and Virgo there. And this Empress depressed with the Queen of Cups upright and the Wounded Warrior, or fire sign, perhaps because they have a big love, which they see as the Holy Grail, and the Page of Swords with 3 feathers in their cap and divorced, or spiritual and breaking a standard contract, or breaking away from a religion or establishment here, like I said. So with Taurus upright and Aquarius reversed, the Page of Swords, perhaps with Taurus in their chart, and then we got to the place of the elephant, where the Page of Swords is entitled to the elephant's spray, or their light show, or the elephant keeping the Page of Swords dry in a flood, with the Holy Grail, right, because the Holy Grail is a lot of love, maybe they're not used to that much love, waiting to be filled once the Page of Swords is released from a contract. So it's like the feminine's energy, her cup waiting to be filled by this Page of Swords, trying to stay dry until they're finished with this contract before they get flooded by the emotions of the feminine. Or Taurus reversed, or the Empress with kids of divorce and the Wounded Warrior. After the Knight of Wands, perhaps who's upright, rushed into the 2 of Cups, intense connection. The divorce of the Divine Masculine's heart, or losing patience or fallen angel and implementing a plan to invest in recovering the past love. And then going forward is the Devil with the Page of Wands, juggling with the Knight of Wands reversed, dumping emotional attachments, multiple loads, or found the one and letting go of the rest and needing to take care of all this. Perhaps dealing with a sister, or suffering in silence, or not sleeping well, or just stressed out. The Queen of Swords is upright with the Knight of Pentacles reversed, who may be blocking them from Leo, or a pet, or their own ego or strength. Or the Queen of Swords is unable to function while taming the beast at the same time, perhaps with issues at work or being a third party through work, as the Queen of Cups is upright and focused on her heart and love and the spiritual community, or divorce or breaking of a liar coming clean to the High Priestess reverse secret passion, ending an emotional cycle, being wise and looking at other perspectives before receiving a big love offer, before just saying yes. Making sure you look at other perspectives to make sure it's serving you in that highest love capacity. Perhaps there's an offer to travel at 739, which is the Chariot and the Knight of Cups, or Capricorn upright and Cancer upright as well. Perhaps deception or the new moon coming up at dawn and not working, or dumping their responsibilities. This could be someone calling out sick as well. As I lose my voice, someone might be lying about not wanting to go into work. Maybe they're saying they're sick, but they're not actually. Or maybe they're not feeling well, but receiving love from one who's worried about them or you, or imprisoned by the past, or missing kids or a soulmate at a distance. The divine masculine being Scroogey and not sleeping well, or awakening and coming out to start over, or with another who's ready now to start over at 744, which is the Chariot and the grounding, integrating, and mastering of receiving of love. Perhaps divorced in a cave and losing patience, or the fallen angel implementing a plan to return to a past love. And in the recent past is the Eight of Swords upright, trapped but satisfied with the Queen of Cups upright starting over, with the sovereign or independent, her own independence or another independent, or being happy on their own. Perhaps another is sad about that and working to rise above temptation of coming together in joy. The world complete, the cycle is done, or Pisces or divine feminine, the Page of Cups and the Page of Pentacles, Taurus, out in the cold together, or the Empress mother with 2 kids here, coming full circle or around the neighborhood, or too anxious about being independent for the first time or being out on their own. Capricorn and Pisces upright, Taurus upright here as well, or grandmother helping out daughter with 2 kids or pets, or one, it could be 1 or 2 kids or pets. And then the foundation is the Nine of Wands, the wounded warrior dumping a load, their burdens or responsibilities under the radar, kind of being sneaky about that, or calling out sick, or just feeling like a failure with a bad reputation. The Page of Cups is upright and destined to that pure love or puppy love, or Sagittarius confessing to Pisces and Libra, or Libra offering a little bit of love. The central energy of the Page of Cups here. So the Page of Cups is the center of this read, and the Lovers is at the end of the read. This is with the Two of Cups upright there. It's beautiful. So the Page of Cups, puppy love, a message of love, and the Knight of Wands reversed, who may be paralyzed by their passions, like the Emperor's trunk, being paralyzed by the little fairy girl touching his trunk, by passions with lover, post-war, with dreams coming true, with the Queen of Pentacles reversed losing to the Queen of Wands upright, or the Queen of Pentacles reversed ending conflict with the Queen of Wands, which is today's day energy, who's looking the other way, pretending like it's not happening, dumping it all, no longer confused about the truth, given to the King of Swords, who's pretending not to know or pretending not to hear them, and the deception of the wounded warrior, of the Ten of Pentacles reversed family, business, or community of dysfunction or loss, and the Hermit shedding light on all of that. The Page of Cups happy with themselves, but challenged by the Tower, or sudden events, epiphanies, or sexual exchange, of the Queen of Wands upright and the King of Swords upright, as well as the Queen of Wands, who could be the same as the Queen of Swords, or it could be 2 separate people, with the Queen of Swords speaking for the Queen of Wands. The King of Swords may be insecure about the past, wanting to settle up or settle out with hostage, or their own hands are tied, with sister, or suffering in silence, or stressed out, with the Emperor reversed, who may not be sleeping well, and the Knight of Pentacles reversed, unable to function, with harsh truth that's out about the bliss, with the Queen of Cups, and destined to stand down, with no need for an excuse, or no need to fend off suitors. The Knight of Cups upright offering love to move or travel as or with the Queen of Pentacles and the King of Pentacles, both reversed here, with the wounded warrior, who may be irritated by the waking of the dead, or by an Aquarius. And now here is the Ten of Swords reversed, the bliss of the hanging man, of Pisces or Capricorn receiving a big love offer, letting go to come together, injustice and or divorce, the Page of Pentacles upright with an opportunity or invite to announce or make a judgment call or speak at a service. Perhaps hung out to dry, or hostage being inspected, with the Page of Swords spreading the word, stepping up to the plate, but may have been cut off by the Ten of Cups reversed family who may be unhappy that they're doing that, or unhappy about their news. Or the Page of Pentacles and Page of Swords, who are both upright, may be in bliss on the phone, constantly talking to each other, because these could be two kids in love, which could be two adults acting like two teenagers in love, and very happy hanging out, as the King of Pentacles reversed is no longer saving them and getting off the fence, out of the gate, uncomfortable doing the avoid dance any longer, with the withholding and being manipulative with the King of Wands upright, and their affections for the King and Queen of Pentacles reversed, like using his affections for them against them to get him to do what they want them to do. So the Scorpio may be offering love, but with conditions for fallen angel, right? So it may be like that wounded warrior, you know, that uncle or brother or someone who's always causing problems or just got out of jail. But it's like welcoming them in, but with conditions for the fallen angel at 807, which is the dance of the seven of the chariot, of the vehicle of ascension. Or Scorpio, King of Cups reversed, may be losing patience. Or suddenly all hell breaks loose between the King of Cups reversed Scorpio, or Virgo reversed, and the King of Wands upright with Sagittarius in his chart. The King of Cups reversed may be trying to manipulate the King of Wands' affections, or you know, he may be trying to get the King of Cups, and the King and Queen of Pentacles may be trying to get the King of Wands, you know, manipulate the King of Wands, because they know he's got a kind heart. The Knight of Cups upright may be visiting with the King and Queen of Pentacles reversed, or offering their love, and that could be the King of Wands as well. And the Queen of Swords upright is playing hardball with the High Priestess reversed and the Knight of Pentacles reversed, or a Pisces and Earth sign, which can be that Page of Cups and the Page of Pentacles perhaps, or Knight of Pentacles, who could be different from the Page of Pentacles. Or the Queen of Pentacles reversed may be the secret passion, and the King of Pentacles reversed may be a stubborn mule. And they don't have to be a couple. They could just be two earth signs or two siblings who are both reversed for whatever reason. Maybe they've lost money or they're ungrounded right now. And soon here is the Knight of Swords upright, sending 5D messages. Oh, by the way, I watched Coming to America while I was on my trip. I don't know if I told you this yesterday, but the door of Eddie Murphy's room is 5D. I think I did tell you that. It was so funny. So the King of Swords is deceived by the Nine of Wands, wounded warrior, and that Ten of Pentacles reversed, family, business, or community of dysfunction or loss. With the Hermit shedding light on all of this, defenseless to the energies of the truth, and the Knight of Cups offering partnership to Scorpio reversed, or Dark Night, without peace and separation and heartbroken, or with a little bit of pain going on. So they may have hurt, a joint or something like that. There's some pain going on there. We have the Two of Cups receiving the truth from the Knight, or the King of Swords, or the Knight of Swords. They're both present here. The Cancer reversed, or Virgo upright, Scorpio reversed here, along with air signs as well. And the twin flames seeing themselves as the shadow upright, or perhaps Capricorn. Temptation, present or gifted, and coming clean or changing up the act, or cleaning up their act, as the King of Pentacles reversed, and the Divine Feminine, or Pisces, may be visiting the Empress without options, but the worst is now over and able to travel or move more now. More free range of movement I'm getting. And this can be where the King of Pentacles had to deal with his mother, Empress first, and she could be the Dark Mother, but she's upright here. She may feel justified in her judgment. And then we have the Capricorn upright, Pisces upright, Taurus upright, and Cancer upright here. Perhaps the Empress and grown children. This could be the one in heart-to-heart conversations around the twins, or how they're seen, is that Knight of Wands reversed, who could be paralyzed by their passions, or that can be that player energy falling short, or thought they had good intentions about getting something done, but then they fell short on energy, so they couldn't finish it. But maybe delivering a message, or didn't get to that message in person, and perhaps because they're uncomfortable with the Page of Wands, but the Page of Wands is excited and ready to make a fool of themselves, or kids out of control and not on their best behavior. As Sagittarius, Aries, and Leo are all reversed here, and delivery. So I know what's going on with those the fire signs all being reversed regarding a delivery, and can they follow through with this delivery, or are they going to, you know, choke at the last minute? The block here is the Eight of Cups reversed and feeling uncomfortable with no end in sight, no peace and separation, and the Knight of Cups offering love and a connection with love partnership, but even more so here, rebirth, perseverance, happy ending, and abundance. Perhaps someone's moving in a divorce or unstable, but there's justice here. Or visiting Libra and Lovers, the Queen of Swords, maybe saving for the High Priestess and the Knight of Pentacles kids. Or saving for the secret passion, but feeling stuck. And then the Queen of Pentacles with the King of Pentacles both reversed here, maybe needing to use their intuition more, or their integrity, be more in their integrity. And this could be from the Ten of Pentacles family, right? Who have a dysfunctional way of using money or their time or energy. And they may need to learn to stop guarding their wounds and calling each other out. Secretive and resistant and stubborn is not a great combination of two people. Truth with love from the Queen of Swords and Nine of Cups, Knight of Cups, to the Queen of Pentacles, High Priestess reversed, and the King of Pentacles, Knight of Pentacles reversed. So again, there's that energy of being stubborn and not using their intuition of the King and Queen of Pentacles. Perhaps the Lovers or Queen of Swords could be Gemini or twin, and the King of Wands with an announcement, perhaps of injustice or a divorce, and moving, with Libra reversed and Aquarius upright moving out, or a group that's splitting up, with Gemini upright, Pisces both upright and reversed, Libra reversed, Aquarius upright, Scorpio upright, and Sag reversed. And partners. Cancer is reversed here too. Partners may be giving the truth or announcing a truth and ending a separation at the new moon, with issues at work or closing the workplace at 8:29, which is the dance of being present in the moment. The Queen of Swords may be telling them how it's going to be, right? And that could be dealing with kids as well, or just how things have to function from this point forward. And then it just ends with love. At 8:32, the Divine Masculine's heart and the Wounded Warrior's shadow. The Knight of Wands reversed, imprisoned by the Page of Cups is love, and challenged by the Tower of sudden events, epiphanies, or sexual exchange. And the Knight of Swords with 5D messages, and uncomfortable with bliss of the Lovers and the Two of Cups, giving truth to the world about their heartbreak and deception through work. The Divine Masculine's heart imprisoned by divorce or prisoner of love has been coming up the past couple days. Perhaps feeling trapped or their hands tied by a divorce, or spiritually with the Wounded Warrior with the Page of Cups, sending bliss. Challenged by the Tower and sudden events, the shadow of the Knight of Swords and the Knight of Wands who's reversed, who may be uncomfortable being lovers, and Two of Cups of that twin flame status, with truth coming full circle. Again, coming full circle with the pot of gold at the end of the rainbow, which ends up being your gifts and presenting those gifts to all. Coming full circle in separation, heartbreak at the new moon, up at dawn, or deception at work can be coming up as well at the new moon at 8:36, which is the weight of the world, and the dance between the masculine and feminine. And that's when Andiamo came up. Andiamo, like go, go, go. I rise in waves, to ripple, to flutter, to rock and swing, to waver or hesitate. Andiamo. And remember, speed kills. Okay, so let's just pull a quick card or so for you guys. I'm going to pull from the crystal. Oh, no, I'm not. I'm pulling from this animal deck because that's the one that wanted to come out. It's 3 o'clock on the nose. Double zeros backing up the 3 of the Empress of the Earth, Terra Gaia, of joy of coming together and being backed up by source energy. And what is the message taking away? Well, 2 just flew out. Aw, the kangaroos, the 8 of summer. You feel that there's more to life than what you're living. So it's time to move on. You may be moving from a situation that isn't good for you. Perhaps you're being drawn to what would make you happy. Either way, you're in control, which is great because that's what the message was just saying at the end of the read. So this is confirming that message. Okay. So maybe jumping out of one situation to another, or with a child perhaps here. And then the other card that fell in my lap is the 3 here, the raccoons, and renewal of the 20, which is judgment or the wake-up call. It's time to get clarity about your life purpose and make changes so that you're on the path most divinely suited to you. Forgive what has been without judgment and fiercely embrace what's to come. So it's like these 2 cards are just showing the 2 different perspectives of the twin flames coming together, you know, both in their different situations, with whether you're with kids or without kids, whether you're in a relationship or dealing with family. It's just both, you know, one leaving a situation that's no longer good for them, and the other one being accepting and forgiving of the past so they can come together with another. And then these 2 cards want to be seen as well. We have the panda with Ace of Winter, which is like the Ace of Swords. Implementing your brilliant new idea may get off to a rocky start, but keep going. The challenges will help you refine your plan and reshape your goals into something even better. So don't give up. And there's some bamboo right there too, which is impossible to kill. The 8 of Winter, so again, swords energy of the prison and being freed. The bunting. It is so easy to convince yourself that you're trapped when you're really not. Trust that God will lift you to new heights and give you a greater self-confidence if you affirm your freedom. It's coming together, you know, to have fun with the others, to come together and joy. So there is freedom and truth here. And look at these cards. The truth will set you free, literally. The panda bear is giving the truth to the birds to set them free. And they have a little mask. They're like the raccoon in the other deck. The masked one gives the truth and sets the bird free to be social with the others. And then this last one that wants to come out is the white tigers. Look how sweet. The Ace of Spring. A wonderful new opportunity presents itself. It may have come as a surprise, but you'll still want to leap into action and passionately pursue every possibility. And there's the new moon. Look at that. The bottom of the deck here is the release. And there's the peacock, the 13 of the transition to the other side without having to lose everything. The peacock, it's time to release the past and move on to something new. This ending is the first step on the way to a happier future. So everything is confirming that there is a shift here for sure. There's the cow looking in. You've invested in your dream to reap. Your planning, resources, and efforts you invested will reap great rewards. In the meantime, have patience and meditate on your next steps. And then here's the release of the peacock here. That's beautiful. And yeah, just a journey of love card for you guys. And then I'm going to get going. I have a session to do. So I have to take some time. I have to go jog. I haven't jogged in 2 weeks. So I need to do that. The sun just came out. Thank you, guys. It wasn't out when we started. It was just 3:03. It just became 3:04. So from the journey of love, this is the card. The pearl threaded and the Queen of Cups, the 38. And this is everyone's connection, right? Through their wounds, basically. The pearl that's created through the bacteria that gets into the oyster, the clam, creates the pearl. And that's where we all have commonality there within our challenges. The bottom of the deck is the communal dance. So it's very much about the coming together here in love. Right? It's to understand we've all been in those places here. And there's that community egg here that's being birthed. The 5 of the Hierophant of change, expansion, and freedom for all. In the birthing of a new type of community. Right? Where everybody is connected and everyone gets to be different at the same time. The Queen of Cups and the Hierophant. So underlying energy is the Hierophant and going into that Queen of Cups energy. And then the peacock going into the 8 of summer. That dance. So let me read that to you. 38. The pearl threaded. Though we labor through the illusion of individuality and have to face our inner challenges in solitude, our spiritual transformation is not an independent event, nor is it for our victory alone as we approach the enlightened way of all-embracing love. Each human being is a pearl on the Divine Mother's garland, gradually assuming luster and revealing beauty, worth, and radiance over many lifetimes. Together we're creating a precious offering in return for her gift of life. We can learn to draw on the collective effort to allow our own journey to become integrated into the journey of group without being weighed down, and instead to be lifted up. To do this, we honor the threads that connect each of us as one divine being, just like the various fingers that belong to the one hand. When we honor the pearl essence of our divine nature, that we are capable of growth and transformation, becoming divine beauty. This oracle brings you a message. You are to shift your perspective to allow all groups that you're involved in to become a source of energetic lifting rather than depletion. If a group you're involved with cannot do this for you, then you may not be in vibrational resonance, and it may be time to seek a group that is more energetically supportive of your vibration. Trust your feelings and don't be scared to open up and allow yourself to connect with others. That way you can truly know if a group or gathering is right for you, or if you need to move on. But do trust that you are not alone on your journey, and the soul connections that will nourish you will draw you to them, like strands of pearls on the Divine Mother's necklace. Hearts apart, remember love, and time stands still. Okay, you guys, remember your water, your sleep, your joy, your nature. And I hope this was helpful. Rise and be loved, guys. I'll see you soon.